Yo, what up guys? Travic here, and today I want to talk about bossing in Project Diablo 2. Very specifically, I want to talk about the Lucion encounter. Now, Lucion is very new and exclusive to Season 10, and if you manage to complete Lucion on Tier 2, you get this really cool, nifty glow. You can actually see the glow around my Druid, and today I'm going to be talking about how to get that glow, everything you need, and pretty much a step-by-step on how to do everything. Now, today's video is going to be broken up into 3 parts, and each section will have its own little chapter and timestamp, and you'll be able to jump around as you need. But first, we're going to talk about all the gear, the preparation, how you get the fight, where you put the fight together, what you need, what you don't need. Part 2 to the video, which will be later on, will include a step-by-step detailed instruction on how to do the fight. That'll be done on Tor T1, or the basic level of the fight. And then at the end of the video, I actually fought T2 live today on my Twitch stream, and I pulled that clip and I included it at the end of this. So there'll be like some, Twitch chat talking, but it'll show you just how in depth and how much different the T2 fight is. Now, the Lucion fight is pretty straightforward. It's very simple. And if you do manage to complete it, you'll get your name on the Project Diablo leaderboard. You can actually see all of the fights and achievements for all of the different classes are on the Project Diablo 2 website. You can go to projectdiablo2.com, come over here to game, click Armory, go over to the Heroes section. It'll show you all of the different people playing and all the different things. Now, I managed to score and secure my name on the leaderboard. Right here, I did it on November 13th. I did it in the middle of the night with some friends. We had a really good time. We were all hyped up. We managed to do it. And I want to take 2 minutes before I go into everything else to just say thank you to the team that supported me and the team that worked with me to teach me bossing. A big shout out to my friend Adam Joe. Thank you so much for teaching me and spending all the time teaching the bosses. My buddy Wizspike, my buddy Meg, my friend Kevin for telling me about the Druid, and a very big shout out to TBR, who was actually first on the leaderboard, who saw me playing the Druid on live and was just like, hey man, let me give you some pointers. Here's what gear should look like. This is the direction that you should go. And thanks to him and everybody behind me, I want to be able to pay that forward by making this video and giving you guys what you need to know to make this happen. Now, the Druid character is pretty straightforward. It is very simple. We are going to be playing a very specific type of Druid. We are actually going to be playing a shape-shifting Druid. More importantly, we're going to be doing Werewolf, and we're going to be playing Rabies. Rabies is pretty much very straightforward. It is what it says. You are going to attack a monster, you are going to bite it, you are going to infect it with rabies, and over the course of so many seconds, with that being 5, you will be dealing damage to the mob, and it will just have its health tick down. The ideal gameplay for the Rabies loop is to target the mob, attack it, run away, let rabies tick down, and then retarget and retick on. Now, if you've never seen this skill in action before, pretty much it looks like this. We're going to run up to some mobs. We're going to right click the mobs, and you're going to see that red glow around the mob. That red glow is going to spread mob to mob to mob to mob and essentially just kill everything on the screen. And it is an insanely good mapping skill. It is a very good bossing skill, and it has allowed me to clear, pretty much all of the content in the game. The thing to note with Rabies Druid and with bossing in general is, depending on which boss you are planning to fight and attempt, you do indeed need a different set of gear. So that's why today's video is 100% focus on the Lucion fight, because we're going to go over the gear choices and we're going to go over everything you need, and that gear will differ depending on what you're fighting. Now, for the Lucion fight versus the Declone fight versus the Rathma fight, you can see here I have different sets of gear with all different corrupts on my gear and pretty much just, different things that I need depending on where I'm going. But Lucion is today's topic of discussion, and we're just going to be talking about just everything that goes into it. Now, to do the fight, you need a couple of very specific things. You need the materials put together to do the fight. The first piece of material is the Flesh of Malak. This flesh drops from any demon in the game at any point, any stage, anywhere. If you're killing a demon in Hell difficulty, this has a chance of dropping. I'm not too sure if it drops in earlier difficulties, but as soon as I got to Hell, these started dropping and I was able to find them anywhere. The Talisman of Transgression will drop from corrupted zones. Now, when you go into a game, you'll see after you kill Hell Baal, it'll say corruption has spread. So if I were to go down to the Worldstone Keep and Throne of Destruction and to start killing mobs, I would have a chance at dropping the material that I need. Now I know it's covered up here, but if you were to make a game in hell and you were to start killing mobs, you'll notice in the right hand corner of your screen, the name of the zone will be highlighted purple. That tells you that you're in a corrupted zone. It'll showcase that the zone is level 85, and that is the zone that has a chance of dropping this material. Now the last piece of material, called the demonic insignia, this one's the actual hardest one to get because it's only farmable in very specific zones. In Act 5, back in the original base game, there in the LOD or Lord of Destruction zones, there were red portal zones, and these red portal zones actually drop the material that you need. Now, I don't have the waypoints on this character, so we'll swap over to my assassin really quick and I'll show you. When you go into Act 5, there are 3 areas with red portals. There should be one in Frigid Highlands. I believe there's one in Area Plateau, and I know for certain there's one in Frozen Tundra. When you come to these zones and you look around here, you're essentially going to be looking for a giant red portal. Now, me specifically, I'm after doing this fight a whole bunch of times and farming these insignias, I'm going to be making a sorceress to teleport around and farm my own insignias, because these insignias to bossers sell very well. You can actually sell them. The last time I price checked and bought one earlier today, I paid about a Vex rune for each of these. So farming these insignias with a good character that has amazing clear speed and can just hop around the map is relatively, very profitable. Now you see we're already in this game a whole like 40 seconds. I'm running all around. I'm looking for exactly what I need to be able to do this fight. And this is literally firsthand experience why, if you have a fast character or something that can zip around the zone or zip around the map, you'll be able to farm these pretty nicely. Now, I don't think it's over here, so we'll break down this door. We'll come this way. And I just want to show you guys what the red portal zone looks like. This way, if you do decide to farm it, you know exactly what you're looking for. Because me, as a first-time player to Project Diablo 2, I really didn't know what I was looking for. I had an idea. Here we go. You'll see this big marker right here on your mini map. You'll go into this zone and you just clear and kill everything in this zone. The bad thing about these zones is they're very small. There's not a whole lot of mobs. You can actually clear the zone pretty easily. And if you're thinking about a character to fight, most of the mobs are cold and fire immune. So I know me personally, I'm going to be playing some sort of lightning sort to be able to just zip around in here and kill everything. Now you see, just by going in here, there's not a lot of mobs, and this insignia that you're trying to farm doesn't really drop, often. I've gotten very lucky in my farming runs and I've been able to get them relatively easily. Some people have gone many runs without seeing one. So it really kind of comes down to you and how lucky you get in terms of being able to find one. So let's just kill these. Let's see, maybe we get really lucky for this video. That would be quite lovely. Any luck? Any luck? Nothing there. Nothing there. Is this guy really gonna stay out there? Sir, ma'am, Hell Witch, please. Ma'am. Hey, come over here, kill these. Come over here, kill these really quick. Can't jump to that guy. That guy's off the field. Come on over here, kill these. Oh, a Grand Charm. Give me that. Okay. Come over here, kill all these, and just maybe, we get lucky. Maybe? No, not gonna happen. No, unlucky. Wait, we got one more mob. We got some more mobs. Hey, okay. Nothing, not a zip. But those are the zones that you would run around in, and those are the zones that you would look for the last part. When you obtain all 3 parts, you will take them, you will throw them in your cube, and they will turn into a Shadow of Hatred. The Shadow of Hatred says on it very specifically, there is tier 1 and tier 2. To change it from tier 1, you press the transmute button, it says on it tier 2, and you can press it again to change it back to tier 1. Now, if you're wondering why you should do this fight and why this fight is so important, well, let me tell you. This fight allows you to double corrupt amulets. And in PoE terms, it allows you to Alva Temple your amulets. Pretty much, you just get to take an amulet that has a corrupt on it, and then you get to desecrate it at the end of the boss fight, and it becomes double corrupted. For example, I had a Mara's that I self-corrupted for +1 to all skills. I did the fight. At the end, there's a corruption altar. I put my amulet in, and I corrupted again. you have a chance to brick and you have a chance to not brick. If you don't brick, it can roll anything. Any amulet mod, it can roll and it can double up amulet mods. For example, my Mara's here is +4. If it were to brick, your amulet would just completely change. This was another Mara's that I had that had Can't Be Frozen on it, and it just bricked into a whole nother completely different random amulet. And then because I was running a Sork, I decided to do another amulet and I bricked my metal grids and I got Cannot Be Frozen on it. Well, I didn't break it. I mean, it Cannot Be Frozen is pretty good, but I ran my metal grid through and I hit Cannot Be Frozen, so I'm completely thrilled. Now, I've been running services in stream. I've been doing these for people, and it's really a lot of fun to see the excitement that people get and the different kind of amulets that you get. But if you want to run these for your friends and you want to be able to do this and you're interested in doing rabies, well, let's talk about the gear. One of the big things that you need to know about doing this fight is you do 100% need capped lightning resistance. It is absolutely positively mandatory, especially if you're going to play it in tier 2. My buddy Adam did it without lightning absorb, but capped lightning resistance, and he said he had to play the fight extremely perfectly, otherwise you would just get insta killed. Now you'll see in the explanation fight and in the tier 2 fight just how impactful being lightning capped is and having lightning absorb is, because the fight is a lot of lightning damage. Outside of that, we do cap all of our resistances just to be on the safe side. We have some damage reduction right here at 33%, just so that we don't die. And because we're playing Druid, we have Elemental Pierce so that we can deal our damage, and everything else is pretty straightforward. As for our weapon, we are using a Plague Bearer with +5 to rabies, 4 open sockets, and all of these have 5/5 poison facets in it. Our helmet, we are going to be using a Jalal's Mane with 3 open sockets and all facets in it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get all 5/5 facets. I believe the helmet has a bunch of 3 facets in it, 3s and 4s, I think it is. So you just get a bunch of extra poison damage. I think it's 5, a 4, and a 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 3, 3. It's 5, 3, 3. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 3, 3. So the most important thing is the minus poison enemy resistance is -5. That's the most important part. Our body armor, we're going to be using Bramble. This does indeed have a Sur rune and an Ohm rune in it. And if at this point you're like, oh my God, this boss is so expensive, how did you do it? What did you do? Well, I have a video on playing the Whirlwind Assassin that you just saw, and I use that character to farm all the currency. So bossing is not cheap. Bossing does require some farming. You can't just make a bosser. I mean, you could technically go make rabies and like go farm with rabies and then like do things, but I went with Whirlwind Assassin. The reason why we're using Bramble for all the fights is it is an absolute metric ton of poison damage. It gives you a ton of resistance. It gives you max cold resistance, which you need for other fights. And it just, you know, it's just a really solid body armor that gives you a metric ton of damage. Our amulet, very important to note here, our amulet gives us a bunch of resistances and it gives us maximum to all res. This is the amulet that I was able to find on the trade website. I'm using this amulet because it has a ton of resistances on it. If I was able to find a Mara's with plus the maximum resistances, I would probably use that. I also have this with plus the maximum resistances. I was using this originally, but I started using this because it had extra resistances on it. Also has poison length reduction, which is good for Rathma, but we'll save the poison length reduction for another video. Our shield, we are using a 2-socket storm shield with Cannot Be Frozen. Me and my buddy Meg, we actually bought the storm shield and then we puzzle boxed it. We fingers crossed and we hit 2 sockets on it. You do need some sort of Cannot Be Frozen. It is very helpful. You know, it's just helpful all around. We put 2 low runes into the shield to get our maximum lightning resistance breakpoint. Our gloves, we are using a Venom Grip for increased chance of blocking. The reason why we have a chance of blocking here is if I take off the gloves, you'll notice right away that I am not max block cap. I did indeed test this fight out before I did tier 2 without max block, and it was extremely noticeable to go from 66% block to max block. Now, you don't need these gloves. You can put more points into dexterity to get block cap, but it is absolutely positively not worth it. These gloves are more than enough. Just try to find yourself a pair with increased chance of blocking and 15 to poison damage. If you get 14, it's fine. If you get 13, it's fine. Just try to get as high as the 15. Our belt, we are going to be using a string of ears with a maximum all res corrupt. This belt is pretty mandatory. You can either do string of ears or you can do verdungos. Pretty much any belt that gives you PDR and maximum wall resistance to really get your resistance up there. It is really the only way to get to 90%, and you absolutely positively need the 90%. Our boots, we were unable to get a good unique pair of boots. I bought a bunch of water walks. I bought a bunch of Inferno strides. I bought pretty much every boot that you can think of, and I have been corrupting them nonstop to hit maximum lightning res. I just never could get it and never could hit it, and unfortunately, it was really sucky. You do need plus 3%. So if you are out there and you are watching this video and you pick up water walks and they corrupt with plus 3 lightning resistance, they are worth something, so you should save them. Any boots that you pretty much come across with plus 3 lightning resistance are relatively good, and you should probably put them on the trade site because bosses are going to need them. These boots do suck. They only have plus 3 maximum lightning resistance on them, plus a little other resistance, but I would like to get a better pair of boots, and I'll eventually do that. Now, the big problem with this build is if you are going to do tier 2 Lucian, I would really recommend Wisp projectors. I know they are extremely expensive and bossing is not cheap, but these things have made my fight go from extremely stressful to very easy. The fact is that you have 6% lightning absorb on 2 rings, gives you 12% and makes your life absolutely positively beautiful. This makes everything thousands of times easier. And if you have the opportunity to get yourself Wisp projectors, you should 100% positively get them. You can also use them on other characters, but they are pretty important and pretty needed. I wouldn't really do this fight without them, but I mean, if you're doing tier 1, you can mess around and take maybe one off. You might be able to take both off if you play it really well, but you'll make that decision for yourself when you watch the explanation of the fight. As far as the rest of the gear in our inventory goes, we're just using small charms with life and resistance to cover our resistance to cap it all out. We have an Annihilus corrupted with extra resistances to help us cap our resistance. We have a pretty basic Druid torch with high resistance. I would like to get a better Druid torch, but this is what I have. And we're using all shape-shifting skillers with extra life. The thing that you're going to notice in this fight is very long. It is an endurance fight. You have Rabies, and Rabies is beautiful for helping you clear and keep the arena at bay, but you will indeed need the life to pretty much sustain and fight and do the fight. But if you're able to put all this gear together, you should be able to do the fight relatively well. In our offhand, we do have a call to arms for more life. We have that nice, beautiful 5 battle orders, and we have a 2-socket lidless that eventually I would like to get with 3 sockets on it, or plus 3 to all skills. But you know, we're here and we deal with it and we roll with it. Overall, we have a grand total. If I were to go out to the Frigid Highlands and buff up and get myself into formation, we have a grand total in our Lucian gear of 3,500 health. We have 13,290 resistance or defense rating. We have a 75% chance to block. We have capped resistances across the board, and we are pretty much ready to go. Our rabies damage is a lovely 45k, and we are ready to take the event and take the item and go do the fight. To step into the fight, which you'll see in the next section, we will come over to Act 5. We will come over here to this well. We will right click this, and it will put you directly into the fight where you'll get ready to go. Now let's kind of hop on over to the next clip and let's take a look at what the fight looks like in tier 1. Also, at this point, if you're this far into the video and you're enjoying this, don't forget the like, subscribe button. I'd appreciate it greatly, but we'll see you guys all in a second. The worst part about this fight is phase 1 just takes so long. So you spend a lot of this time here just kind of like getting your feral rage up and running. You know, you're trying to like maintain the rabies on him, and it's not too bad, especially like in phase 1, since you have 75% chance to block. Like you see there, like we're able to just like stand there, we could take the hit, there's no problem. We just build up our feral rage, we make sure that we keep rabies on him. And the best part about having 3,500 life and a full rejuve and like rejuves is we don't really need to rejuve in phase 1 too much. If he manages to get us down to about 1,600 life, just due to the nature of how full rejuves work, we'll rejuve then. But ideally, we want to just kind of like maintain what we have, simply due to the fact that it gets a little bit hectic, you know, after he starts doing the whole underground thing. And you see here, like, you know, we're slowly regaining a little bit of life. We've got the dot on him. We really don't need to worry too much. You know, we can come up to him right now. We can hit him with feral rage. We can start life leeching back a little bit. And overall, his damage right now isn't too bad. And like, we don't have like a whole ton of PDR. We have 33%, so it's not terrible. You know, it's not too bad. You know, going into like a minute and a half into the fight now, you know, he's coming down. He's about, what, I'd say 80% life. We're coming to that spot where we probably want a full rejuve right there. We go back. You see, we didn't go to full life there because we were under the 1,500 marker. Full rejuves give you 65% life, but I believe they are capped at a maximum of 2,000 life, or so I've been told. So, you know, we just play around knowing that we have, you know, we have our health pool. It's really high. We don't really have to worry too much. And soon we're going to be going into, you know, the underground darkness phase. So he pops to the middle there and then he summons this lightning. This lightning is very slow. It's extremely telegraphed. You can see exactly where it's going. You can see exactly how it's doing things. And he does 2 waves of lightning like you saw. The first wave doesn't do too much, but the second wave will probably kill you. Even on my Druid with like, you know, 2 Wisp projectors and my life pool, it's still really sketchy to get hit by. So we move to the opening spot, we dodge it, and we're just going to keep going about what we're doing. And soon he's going to go underground and start summoning lightning. So you see he goes underground here. You don't move. There's red rings around you. The red rings deal no damage. The white rings are electricity and they deal a ton of damage. So you see we stood in it right there. We took a lot of damage. So essentially when he goes underground, what you want to do is you can manipulate where that lightning is going to go because it follows you around. So ideally what you want to do is when he does this whole little underground phase, you want to make sure that you get to a spot where you can see the portal and slowly try to manipulate the lightning to move with you so that you can get to the portal. Essentially what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're able to really get good control of the ads, because if you don't have good control of the ads, you're just going to get overrun. And one of the biggest issues that people have with the ads, as you see right here, we haven't really killed all the ads. He's spawning a ton of portals. Things are getting a little bit hectic. We really can't move. And if he were to come out of the underground phase there and blast us with lightning, well, we better hope that our ability to survive is good enough, because if not, we're just going to die. One of the upsides, though, to playing Rabies is, since we're playing Rabies, we can pretty much just spread our Rabies all around the room. We don't really have to worry too much. You know, we have the ability to hit multiples of mobs and everything just kind of goes really sweet. But the idea with this fight is essentially like, it's a really big DPS check. Here, look, see, you can see I'm manipulating where the rings are going and they're just following me around. And I'm just kind of running around right now, essentially just looking for that portal. I want to make sure that I can find the portals. I want to tag them with the Rabies. I want to make sure that I'm getting him tagged with the Rabies. I'm trying to keep up my Feral Rage. He's going in the middle. We're going to go to a nice safe spot right here. We're going to hit and try to kill this portal. And then we're just going to keep rinsing and repeating that essentially for this fight. Now, this fight mostly is like, it's both a DPS check and it's an endurance check, especially when you're playing this character. I'm sure other Druids might be able to do it faster, or other characters might be able to do it faster, but because of the nature of what we're playing is poison based, we have to essentially like wait for our damage to be spread. We have to wait for dots to happen. You know, we're not as instant damage as like every other class, and we have the beauty of playing this, like, as my friend who has been teaching me Druid says, we could play this really cool peekaboo game where, like, I go in there, I hit him, I run around, I look all around, I scream peekaboo like 18 times like it's a small little human. I go back in, I give him a little kiss on the forehead with the Rabies, I run around again. He goes underground. I'm like, oh dear God, it's hide and seek. What am I gonna do? The big scary man, he's coming. Then I run around and I slap a couple of things and I run around some more, and then I give it a little 1-2 wombo combo. I panic, I fat finger my healing. I'm standing in the lightning. I'm starting to panic. You see right there, we took that hit from the lightning, and literally the only reason we were able to survive that is because we have 2 Wisp projectors on and 90 lightning res. If we didn't have the 90 lightning res and all the absorb, we'd probably be cooked. Also, we're in a really bad spot where our weapon is starting to break. And that's gonna be really awkward. Let's hope our weapon doesn't break. But don't worry, if our weapon breaks, I'm sure we do enough damage with our other weapon, right? How bad could it possibly be if our weapon breaks? All right, so he goes underground again. We come around, we dot up all the mobs, we run around a little bit, we get this all dotted up, we look for the boss. We get in on the boss, we give him a little kiss with the Rabies. And you can see Rabies like really ticks hard. It's like, I was honestly, like, when I first played Rabies and I went into maps with it, I wasn't as impressed. But coming into the bossing scene with Rabies and having like all the proper gear, having everything set up, hitting the boss with the Rabies, like, it really chunks really hard. And I honestly don't know. I've been told that, you know, outside of bossing content, there's different layers of resistance stuff that makes Rabies a little bit worse, or like if you get a map with, you know, just a ton of max life, things get a little awkward. But coming into bossing with Rabies, honestly, it's just so smooth. You know, I mean, it's definitely a little bit harder to like maybe do the fight while navigating and, you know, discussing every little step of everything that we're doing. But, you know, overall, the fight in itself is not too bad. The biggest downside to the fight is like just the endurance check. Like, can you manage to stay focused and survive for, you know, we're going on 7.5 minutes now. You know, we got to make sure that we deal damage. He keeps going underground. We've got to control the ads. We have to watch the lightning on the floor. We got to make sure we don't get overrun. We have to find the portals. We have to tag the portals. We have to go to him. We have to tag him. But, you know, Rabies just, I don't know, makes it relatively straightforward. You know, don't stand in the lightning, tag the boss, block all the stuff. But you see, you know, we stood in the lightning there. We took a bunch of extra damage we needed to take. We come over here. We dodge everything. No damage at all. I think, honestly, this fight is probably one of the best telegraph fights. Yo, thanks for the resub, man. I think this fight...
Stupid Twitch making me watch ads. F that shit.
I think, honestly, overall, though, this is probably one of the most telegraphed or best of the fights that they've managed to put together. You know, you essentially can just go through everything extremely easy. Oh, I didn't want to do that. But you see, you know, we're cruising. We're cruising. Not a whole lot going on. You know, we're just giving them the little love taps here and there. We're going to have to re-battle orders in a second. We're just going to swap it, weapon swap now, re-battle orders. Make sure we weapon swap back to the proper weapon. Double, triple check everything's going good. Get him tagged. He's underground. Feels bad. You know, and then we're just kind of rinse and repeat here. Don't step on the lightning. Make sure you navigate. Move all the lightning all around. Don't step on anything. Tag all the portals. Make sure you get him tagged. Try to navigate the portals. Come over here, tag this. He's doing the lightning phase. Get to a nice safe spot. Back over here, tagging these portals, making sure they die. Getting over here, tagging these portals. Coming over to the boss, hitting him with some Feral Rage. Make sure he's nice and tagged up. We want him at all times, if possible, to have Rabies on him. We want to try to maximize our uptime of damage, just simply due to the fact that the fight is such a long endurance fight that we really can't afford to be spending a ton of extra time trying to like deal with things. Eventually, you know, as well as you're able to sustain the fight, you're eventually going to run out of rejuves. You're eventually going to just like, you as a player are just going to be like exhausted and fatigued, because like, you know, long fights like this, like they might not seem exhausting, but you know, you do this a lot in a row and it can get pretty exhausting. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, man, this fight is taking forever, like, is there another class to do this on? I have heard that, and I haven't tried this. I'm waiting for a buddy of mine to get the gear to do it, Mr. Bubbles. I have heard that Vengeance Paladin is really good at this fight due to their ability to chain and hit all of the ads and get straight to the portals. Now, I personally haven't tried Vengeance Paladin. I don't think I'll be putting Vengeance Paladin together. I really, really, really like this Rabies Druid a lot, especially for bossing. I enjoy this playstyle a lot. I think this playstyle is really, really cool. It's very comfy. It took a little bit to get used to, but I think if you're, you know, ever considering putting together a Druid and trying to get the gear for it, it's definitely well worth it. And you see, you know, we still have a ton of rejuves to go. We haven't really had like the fear of dying at any point because our gear is good. You know, you see we have tons and tons of rejuves left. He's at like, I don't know, 15, 20%, maybe like 10%. Man, maybe not 10% health, but you know, we're cruising. We've got all the portals under the control. He popped back up. He's tagged. He's poisoned. We see the little rabies on him. We know we don't got to worry too much. We want to try to get these portals killed. We got to find a nice safe spot for the lightning. We do the lightning phase. And then right over here, we come on over here. We do this. We click on this. We touch this. We portal this. We potion that. And then that's it, man. That's the entire fight. The fight in itself, not too bad at all. And the reward at the end, oh, I I don't know. I think the reward at the end is pretty sweet. I would like to see, and we'll talk about the rewards in a minute. I would like to see rewards like this on the other bosses. You know, maybe if Senpai sees this, or, you know, it gets spread around in the community, maybe we can like have open conversations about it. But I think the reward, I think the reward for doing this fight, oh, we're dead. Oh, we're good. We're good. I think the reward for doing this fight and having super chests at the end is pretty sweet. Okay, come over here, tag this. Let's just pay attention for a minute. And there you go. That's the entire fight. Easy peasy. That fight took about 12 minutes. Our weapon didn't break. We still have 1 durability left on our weapon. Feels really good. And then we come on in here. And then you can see we have the altar right here. This is a sacrifice altar. We're going to get an amulet from our buddy in a second. He's going to pop into this game. He's going to give us the amulet. We're going to put the amulet in. And then we have all of these treasure chests. These are super chests that you would find, I've been told, in like the lower Curest area. I haven't really found anything too crazy out of them yet. They're pretty basic. They're pretty simple. You know, they have a couple of goodies in them. You can essentially hit really well, or you can hit pretty okay-ish. And then, you know, you just kind of go from there. You see what happens. Now our buddy's coming in. He's going to put the amulet in the hole, and we're just going to kind of hope what happens. One of two things is going to happen. The amulet's going to drop, and it's going to be okay. Oh, did it live? Oh, no. His metal grid. No. Uh-oh. Oh, he left. It didn't live. Oh, it's got 25 points to Iron Golem on it. Wait, is this it? Wait, it lived. It did live. It's pretty sweet. Wait, it lived. It did live. It just has the name. The name is all cooked. It did live. That's cool. I thought it bricked too, man. I thought it bricked, dude, because the loot filter said didn't live. Oh, it did live. That's sick. It hit max res, or no, it hit faster run walk. Oh, I thought it bricked. I thought it bricked. My bad. My bad. My bad. Okay, so. All right, let's go get us some metal grid. All right. Now we can actually see the big difference between tier 1 and tier 2. I feel like he takes so much more damage on tier 2. I don't know if that's just like me being crazy, but I feel like he dies so much faster. Unless it's just my uptime right now, it's just better from the first attempt. There haven't been any gear upgrades. I think I'm just having better uptime of Rabies right now. That hurt. Okay. Take another hit before we need the juve. Okay, pop that. Give him a couple of slaps, move around, don't get hit by any of that. Should be going to the middle soon. Refill our belt. Hit him again. I think dodge the lightning. Oh, crap. No, shit. There you go. There you go. Mid-fight gets rid of the webcam? I mean, the fight's actually not that bad on Druid. It's like surprisingly like really easy. Even like the portals and stuff, like Rabies is just cheating. In all honesty, dude, Rabies is like really cheating. Hold on, I can't read Twitch chat. Oh shit, we're dead. Oh, we're good. Should have went in as a duo. Do the poison stack? They do stack? That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I honestly, I hate to say this, but I really feel like tier 2 is so much easier than tier 1. I don't know why it feels that way. I'll let my Rabies, my Feral Rage run out there. It's an accident. Now there's a lot more lightning. Ugh, get out of the way. I lied. Maybe it's not easier. Maybe it just gets really hectic. Maybe I'm crazy. Can I hit this? Why is it not hitting that? Well, good news, I don't die to the lightning. But I did like giga overpop there. I did just panic a little bit. Okay, maybe I talked a little too much shit about it being easier, and now I'm in a state of like, oh dear God, what do I do? You know, the whole don't talk shit, just kill it. I didn't mean to fat finger that pot. Well, if I die, it's my own fault. I'm gonna die? I don't think so. But if I do, it's my own fault. Took too many lightning bolts to the face, so if I do die, it's because of that. I don't think I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna be fine. That was close. Why are you underground again, sir? Thank you. Oh my God, we're dead. I got him. Thank God, dude. Ah, we did it again. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right, I lied. It wasn't that much easier, but we've done it again. Not even close. We had it the whole time. Maybe tapping out in the middle of the fight to reset things. Not my best decision. All right, Metal Grid. So long, farewell. Goodbye. It survived. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh, it can't be frozen! Holy! Let's go, dude! Yeah! That was awesome. And that's the whole fight. That's the whole fight. Just to recap, you know, 90 lightning res, max block, you know, a little bit of PDR for the fizz hits, and you know, there you go. 43k rabies damage. Weapon didn't break. I should have repaired the weapon before we go in. So there you go. That's the whole fight. Well, if you enjoyed watching that, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and do that fun jazz. But we'll check out all the other bosses, and we'll make a little video about all the other bosses. We'll talk about them on Rabies Druid, and we'll go from there. But for now, friends, I'm gonna get this video out to you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.